As you sort of sit back and look back on it, and you've written a book that we're going to talk about here, and obviously taking you through a lot of the experiences that you had, but there are some stories that we frequently will say, well, if you submitted this as a Hollywood script, people would just laugh you out of the room because it seems so improbable. How long did it take for it all to sink in for you that this legitimately happened in your life over the last year?
I don't know if it'll really ever sink in like this is reality. It's pretty wild that, everything that's happened. That was a big reason, the book opportunity came to be. Because like you said, if you submitted this as a Hollywood script, a year or so ago, that you'd be laughed out of the room. But the fact is, this really happened. You get to see what happens with a great group of people, an amazing city, and it couldn't have happened to a better team. And I'm just excited to be a part of it, to be able to share, my point of view of everything.
One of the ultimate cliches in sports is the most popular player in the city is the backup quarterback. You actually lived up to that moniker to the point where you became Super Bowl MVP. So how has the city embraced you, and have you had to pay for a meal ever since you got it done?
You know what? You definitely still pay for my meals. They're definitely.
Why?
Come on, Philly.
Hold on.
Seriously?
Everywhere we've gone, they've been awesome. They always send out a plate. That treat us from the Super Bowl win. But at the same time, I'm happy to pay. Do my part for the city. But they've always embraced me since I was drafted as a rookie. Since when I was the starting quarterback, then coming back as the backup. The city, the fans, the team has always been awesome. And that's when I say it couldn't have happened to a better group of people, a better city, a better fan base. I mean it from the bottom of my heart because I've seen so many different aspects of it throughout my career there.
Your book is called Believe It, and I know that has a variety of meanings for you. Again, the book is called Believe It, Nick Foles. What is it you had to believe in order to make this happen? I know there was a time in your career you considered walking away from football with some of the ups and downs you had been through. What did you have to believe?
I think most importantly, that journey and all throughout the book, I think, I've said it several times, but I think if I'm sort of diving in deeper, it's just why you do something. Why are you doing your job? Is it with your heart or is it just solely for you? Is it for a greater cause? Is it for your loved ones or, are you alone in your own journey? And I think that if you're doing it just solely for yourself, you're going to be alone at the top. So I really had to go, step away from the game. And, I had put the NFL, the game on a pedestal where, you're sort of afraid to lose it. You're afraid, I was judged and my identity was in football. And I was trying to figure out, because that's not really who I am. I'm not, the stats on the play sheet, that's not who I am. I'm different than that. My heart's different. I don't want to be treated based on how I play. And, I went through all that, and it was the greatest thing, almost stepping away from the game and deciding to play. I'd lost the joy, and then going to play for Andy Reid and making that decision, taking that leap of faith. That was the greatest thing that ever happened because my perspective of why I play, how I play, it's all to glorify God, to, impact my family, my loved ones, and then ultimately to play football to the best of my ability for my teammates.
I'm glad you went there because so many times as athletes we get cheered or jeered depending on the level of success, but people don't understand the level of endurance and perseverance it takes to actually be really good at your job. So can you just talk about that process of reinventing yourself?
Yeah.
Because that's what you actually had to do.
Yeah, I think when I stepped on, when I joined the Kansas City Chiefs in training camp, it was the fourth day of training camp where I really found the joy of the game again. And it just came back in a different way. And the game's never been the same since. And it's allowed me to be a better player because it doesn't have as much weight on my shoulders. I go in there every day, I enjoy it. The preparation, like we talk about, is, no matter what our schedule is, because I love the people I work with, I enjoy playing in the offense, I enjoy the team, I enjoy the workouts. Now, when I say enjoy, there's definitely times that you're just your body does not feel like going out to practice. It's sore, it's hurting, but because you love who you're with, it makes it easy. You find a way to do it, and you don't even think about the time. You just go do it. Whereas, hey, you don't like the place you work, it doesn't matter what your hours are. You're not going to enjoy it. You're going to dread it, and you can't wait till it's over. So I've been fortunate to be in a place like that.
The book is called Believe It, and obviously there's a situation now that you're there in Philadelphia, and Carson Wentz comes back, and Jalen was just saying he thinks Wentz could be the MVP of the league. A lot of people do. You were the MVP of the Super Bowl. I understand you guys have a really good relationship, and you need to make that work. How does it work? How complicated is that with him coming back, and the two of you are there? You've proved you can play.
I think it's more complicated for people other than ourselves to wrap their heads around, how is this even possible to work? But I think it's when you just put your ego and pride aside and you know what's best for the team. In reality, Carson Wentz is an amazing player. He's going to be one of the best players in the NFL for a long time. He's coming off this injury. He's going to be ready to roll. And, but at this time, Philly's in a very unique situation in the quarterback room. All the guys can play, all the guys are talented, and all the guys get along. No one's trying to cut each other's legs out. No one's trying to mess with each other. Everyone wants each other to do successful. Whoever's playing, that's who we're going to be cheering on. That's who we're going to be helping when it comes to sideline. If it's Carson coming to the sideline, well, hey, we're going to help him. We want him to go out there and ball. If it's me, I know the guys are going to help. If it's Nate, if it's Joe, it doesn't matter. And that's what's so unique about the locker room, about the quarterback room. And it's not like that everywhere. And that's why, in Philly right now, it's a very special place in the QB room, in the locker room, and, we're just going to enjoy it while it lasts.